With over 2,500 downloads and slowly counting, this is What's Your Favorite Movie, the podcast where people share their personal experiences with the finest that cinema has to offer us. And then I somehow work into the conversation a movie about a boy who adopts a zebra after it breaks out of a zoo. My name is Ed South, and you can follow along with our show on Twitter at WYF Movie Podcast, and also find us on Facebook. The name of that movie, by the way, is Zebra in the Kitchen. Zebra in the Kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. Pretty excited about today's show. We have a very special guest sitting here in the glorious What's Your Favorite Movie studios. It is Jason Hughes, one of the lead singers from the band The Real Geniuses. What's up, Jason?
What's going on?
How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
So we were going to introduce you as a CPA by day, rock star by night.
That's up to you. I do both. Yes.
Excellent. So you are part of a band called The Real Geniuses, which is named after a movie.
Yes.
So that just right there known is enough qualification to be on the show.
One of my favorite movies.
One of your favorite movies. Well, tell us.
But it's not on my list.
No.
But it's one of my favorite movies.
Tell us how the band came about and how you came to honor such a fine film with the band.
Okay, so the band came about because my sister, I was always in punk bands as a kid, and my sister wanted us to play her 30th birthday party. I said, you don't want a loud screaming punk band playing your birthday party. So I said, I'll get some friends together and we'll, learn some covers and we'll play, maybe 2 hours. And so I got some guys together and we thought we were going to do like a one-off show.
Right.
And that night, there were about 500 people there. And
pretty good first gig.
Not too shabby. And we ended up getting like 5 gigs off that.
Wow.
So people just started asking us to play for this event or that event, and we realized it wasn't a one-off.
Right.
So then we had to create a name.
So at this point in time, you weren't doing any music?
No, we were all my previous band had just broken up.
Oh, okay.
And I had also just gotten married, so I didn't realize that I was going to do music at all.
You didn't know that was an option? After you get married?
You kind of think that you're going to hunker down, but it doesn't work that way, apparently. So that was years and years ago, and now we play 60 shows a year, I guess.
Awesome. So, first of all, it's pretty cool. Your sister had an exclusive band at her. I got this band put together just for my wedding.
Yeah,
That's pretty nice. So then how did you guys come about with The Real Geniuses, which is a 1985 Val Kilmer film?
Well, that was one of my favorite movies.
Awesome.
We started out thinking that we were going to be an 80s cover band. And so we were just doing Jesse's Girl and Take On Me and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so we were going to be like Ferris Bueller and the Days Off or some stupid, But we didn't want to be so pigeonholed into just having an 80s band name. So,
because Ferris Bueller and the Days Off obviously makes you think of the movie, but Real Geniuses, not everybody picks up on that.
That's sort of a cult.
Yeah,
I think.
Yes,
Real Genius is not a particularly popular movie mainstream, but if you know it, then you love it.
You got I saw it, I got the reference immediately.
Right. So, and those people who do get it, and they're going to talk to me about the popcorn scene at the end of the movie or whatever. After a show.
Right.
But when you say we're the Real Geniuses, it's not as specific.
Right. It's not as defining as Ferris Bueller or the Gremlins or...
Yeah, exactly.
the Ghostbusters. Did you guys have any other movie-inspired band names that you tossed around? Well, I just answered my own question.
We threw a whole bunch out there. But, yeah, that was, like I said, Ferris Bueller and the Days Off. All that's just so... It's dorky, man. We weren't going to do that. So
plus, there's a band, Save Ferris, from the. Are they still around?
Yeah. But I mean, they're all out there, man.
Yeah.
There's so many bands like the Leg Warmers, and they're all great bands, but they're all very 80s specific. We're not. We actually branched out from the 80s, and we do everything now.
Nice.
So we do oldies, and we do Lady Gaga.
Right.
We do everything.
Awesome.
So it's fortunate that we didn't pigeonhole ourselves into the 80s brand with our name,
And then I see you guys wear a costume, I would call it, or it's not a uniform, but you guys always wear black.
Well, we used to.
Okay.
We went from skinny ties and white shirt or black shirt or red shirt, sort of because we didn't want to go full on 80s gear.
Okay.
And it actually did transfer well into moving to like the broad spectrum of genres that we do now, because it still looks classy.
Right.
But, like our girl's not going to dress up like Madonna.
Right.
She's going to just wear a dress. And so it...
Because I was going to ask you if that had anything to do with the movie, the costume that you guys used to wear. But
no, we were dressing up like the Knack.
The Knack.
If you remember My Sharona. Yes, exactly. And those guys wore white shirts with skinny ties.
That's cool.
And so we wanted to be the Knack.
Well, let's see how your knowledge is of some 80s movie songs.
This is not going to go well. Let's see how it goes.
That I pulled together. So I have the song and the artist and the movie it's from. These are all songs from 80s movies.
Oh, I wish my buddy Pat was here.
So, yeah, well, you said your buddy Pat, who's in the band, also is an encyclopedia.
He's not in the band anymore.
Uh-oh.
He retired.
Oh, okay.
Now he's just a lawyer.
Yeah. Boo.
I know. Boring.
Lawyer by day, lawyer by night does not sound as cool as lawyer by day, rock and roll star by night.
No.
But, oh, well, Pat. All right, let's see how many of these you know. You can tell me the artist and the movie, or maybe neither. Let's see.
I'll do my best.
The Heat is On. Do you know who that's by?
Who's that? Is that... Oh, it's not Glenn Fry. Is it...
It is Glenn Fry.
Nice.
Yes. And the movie?
Beverly Hills Cop.
That's it. You got it.
Nice.
All right. Hazy Shade of Winter.
That was an old song, but...
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
but it was
right.
covered by the Bangles.
That's right, yep. And it was covered by the Bangles for the movie.
I do not know that. It was like less than zero or something.
Oh, you got it. Yep, less than
I got
zero.
it? So you give me a buzz.
I did, yes.
So
Rhythm of the Night.
Ooh, feel the beat of the rhythm of the night. DeBarge?
Damn, yep. And what movie is that from?
Oh,
I didn't know this.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I give me a buzz. I got nothing.
Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
That was one of my favorite movies. I have that DVD. I should have known that.
You should know. You're going to have to rewatch it now. Let's Hear It for the Boy.
Ooh, I do not know who that was, but that's definitely from the dancing movie.
The dancing movie. Footloose.
Yes, Footloose.
Denise Williams. Yeah.
I would never know her. Even if she was sitting next to me, I wouldn't know it was Denise Williams.
I had that 45 when I was younger.
Nice.
We Don't Need Another Hero.
It's Mad Max and Tina... No, not Mad Max. Thunderdome.
Yes, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
And it was... what's her name? The woman who got...
Beat up by her?
Yeah, exactly.
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
Crazy for You.
That's Madonna,
yes.
Obviously. I have no idea. I'm going to go... What's the Susan movie?
That's what I thought you would say. It's from... Suddenly... Desperately Seeking Susan
yes,
is her
but
movie.
That's incorrect, though,
right.
isn't it?
Yes. It's from Vision Quest.
Which is a movie I did not like because I'm not a Modine fan.
Matthew Modine?
Yeah. Wasn't he the wrestler in that movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Desperately Seeking Susan's song was Into the Groove, which is a great song.
We do that.
Put a Little Love in Your Heart.
Jeez. Oh, nothing. I got nothing.
Nothing.
On either.
Annie Lennox and Al Green, and it's from Scrooged.
Jeez. That's deep, man. I don't...
How about Up Where We Belong?
That's Joe Cocker
yes.
and someone else.
Jennifer Warnes, we'll give it to you. And it is from
no idea what movie
An
it's from.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Never saw that.
No, that's a chick flick.
That's why I haven't seen it, I guess.
Danger Zone. That's a give.
Definitely Kenny Loggins
yes.
and definitely Top Gun.
Oh, there you go. Eye of the Tiger.
Survivor.
Yes.
And I don't know which Rocky movie it was. Was it Rocky? It was the one with Clubber Lang, right?
Yes. Rocky
so that
3.
was yeah.
Yep, we'll give it to you. Kokomo.
Oh, ew, go away. That's the Beach Boys, and that's Cocktail, I think. Yeah.
So you don't do that song in your band.
Definitely not. It's one of the worst songs of all time.
How about When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Gets Going?
Billy Ocean?
Yes.
No idea what movie that's from.
The Jewel of the Nile.
Oh.
Where's my buzzer? There's the buzzer. Delayed buzzer. Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
Starship? Was it? Or Jefferson Starship?
It was. By then it was Starship.
Okay, and I couldn't tell you what movie that's from.
That would be Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall in Mannequin.
Mannequin. I did see that movie.
Don't You Forget About Me.
Well, we just talked about that.
Right.
Breakfast Club, Simple Minds.
Simple Minds, right. And In Your Eyes.
Oh, that's Peter Gabriel?
Yes.
And maybe Say Anything?
You got it. That's it.
Nice.
I stopped keeping track, but it was a good effort there, and I hope you all played along.
I did all right.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Not too many buzzes.
No. Also, we have here, tell us about, you were telling me this great story from high school. We didn't even mention that we went to high school together.
We did go to high school together,
yes.
yes.
We did.
That's how we met.
And again, we don't live in the same town. Actually,
It
Jason,
took me an hour and a half to get here, as a matter of fact.
Much obliged. I just think people think I just like live in my parents' basement. And like we all live in the same town and hang out at the donut shop.
We've never moved.
So you were just telling me like this awesome story about the movie Johnny Get Your Gun. We should have looked up what the actual title of the movie is.
I think that's what it's called.
Johnny Get Your Gun or Johnny Got Your Gun.
Mm-hmm.
It must be Johnny Get Your Gun.
Because Annie got her gun.
and she sings while she's doing it.
This is not funny.
This is a dude in a bed, like paralyzed, right? Completely.
I think it was a war injury where he was basically, the concept was that he was wrapped up in his own brain. Like he couldn't move.
Right.
He couldn't see. But he was sentient, I guess, if that's the right word. I have no idea. He was aware of his surroundings, but he couldn't move. And
you can hear him.
He couldn't talk.
You can hear him thinking though in the movie.
Exactly.
Like you hear his voiceover.
Yeah.
So this was introduced. So this is like from the '60s, and it's not a big movie
No.
at the time, and nobody really had heard of it. And then 88, 89, something like that.
It must have been 89-ish. Yeah.
Metallica put it in their video, that was their first music video. I do remember that.
That was their first video, yeah.
Which they had held out for a long time. So, and the video is just clips of the movie and then them playing.
Correct.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and the video is very narrative and kind of gives you a lot of the story. So,
yeah, and it was weird because, well, I mean, the song, I guess they must have seen the movie.
right.
So they wrote the song based on the movie.
Oh, okay.
I think. I mean, I'm not them, so I can't answer for sure. But the whole, if you listen lyrically, the whole thing was basically saying, like, I'm trapped in my own body.
Right.
And so they took clips from the movie and put it into their video. But in high school, we were on our ski trip.
Yes.
And
The ski trip.
that's when it was a great ski trip. In fact, 2 people were expelled, one for alcohol and one for marijuana.
Yes.
They got caught in their lockers.
In their locker. I remember one story. Somebody had a joint or something in their boots or something.
I'm actually still in contact with both of those people, as a matter of fact. Anyway.
Check their boots next time you go out.
So I invited everyone into my room. I was the only Metallica fan, at least the only admitted Metallica fan, because everyone claims that they loved them now, but I was the guy who wore...
I remember everybody being into them, but I think...
I was the long-haired kid in school.
Yes.
So, like, people made fun of me all the time.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. I got all kinds of crap.
Well, let's just say it was definitely more respectable to be the Metallica fan than the Debbie Gibson fan. I can tell you that much right now. Because I didn't get a whole lot of respect for that.
So we were both shunned on some
Yes.
level. That's maybe why we're friends. But yeah, so everyone came into my room. We watched the Metallica video, and so then I guess Mr. Kiesling,
who we mentioned last time, who's the best teacher ever.
Best teacher ever, and our good friend Ron was the one who mentioned him on the last
episode,
the episode I listened to recently. He actually owned the movie.
Nice.
So he knew that I was interested in that whole,
the
video and trying to figure out where it came from. And he gave me the movie. And then me and my buddy Pat went back and watched the movie at my house. And it was really sad.
Oh, okay.
It's a sad movie.
Johnny, get your gun or got your gun. We'll figure it out.
Do or do not watch that movie. That's
depending on what
entirely up to you.
Right. Don't watch it for Metallica music. Cause
no.
It's not.
Just watch the video if you want that.
The ski trips were big deals.
They were
school.
awesome.
I have a movie related story. I have two, actually, now that I think about it, too. But the one that I was going to say was I only went on one ski trip. I think it must have been senior year. I went on the ski trip and we got like a pay-per-view movie in the room, like Leviathan or something like that, or Parenthood, I think it was. I don't know what it was. But when it was over, it appeared to me that I just now had access to the box and could watch whatever I wanted to. So I think we watched another movie, and then I think I put like porn on because we were like 16, 17, whatever, and just watched like a second of it and whatever.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it takes, right? Especially when you're 16. And then like whenever we were getting ready to leave, one of the teachers gets on the bus, Ms. Engelman, I think.
Engelman, right? Yes, I remember her.
She's like, "Where's Ed?" Oops, I just said my real name.
You're not that. Yeah, delete that.
It doesn't matter. But she's like, "Where's Ed?" And he's like, "You have like $75 worth of charges for hot blondes in heat or whatever, something."
This
stupid.
is a true story.
Yeah.
Oh, mind blowing.
So she was out for me, so she just said that out loud. Whatever, she said the title of the movie, whatever it was, and of course it was super incriminating.
Of
and
course.
I only watched like 1 second of it. Like there's other people in the room or whatever. But But it was like $76 worth of charges, and of course I didn't have $76.
No, and you can't ask your parents for $76 for porn
for hot blondes and heat. Yeah, so.
That's amazing.
So there you go.
What a good story.
Yes, memories of hot blondes and heat or whatever it was. That's just the G-rated as porno title I came up with in my head.
Well done.
Thank you. Let's talk about some movies here on Jason's list of what's your favorite movie. And Jason, you've been so kind and supportive of the podcast.
I love the podcast.
Well, you're a true American.
No, I'm a true Ed South fan. That's what I am.
Everyone should be. Thank you. So Jason came up with a list of movies, and a lot of people have said to me, like, man, it's fun coming up with a list of whittling it down to what your 5 or so favorite movies. And you have concocted a list of cinema goodness, in my opinion. This is a fantastic list of movies.
Much appreciated. And this is, like, I could list 50 movies.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
so it was very difficult.
But
there's in no order.
In no order, okay. Yeah. Well, I put it at the top of the list because I watched it last night.
Love it.
Hot Rod from 2007. What a film!
Of course. I mean,
did you see Popstar? The new.
I own it.
Excellent. Okay.
Whatever on iTunes, if you can buy a movie, whatever that's called.
Right.
We own that movie.
So this is Andy Samberg and then his other two buddies. Do you know how to say their names right?
Akiva
Schaffer.
Akiva and Jorma, yeah.
Jorma, yes. So they make up the Lonely Island, which did all the digital shorts on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, D in a Box and all that stuff.
Right.
It's all that.
More censoring. This is going to be a good G-rated episode. This was like their first big movie together that they did.
Yeah.
And it was originally written for Will Ferrell, but they took it over. And
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You can see him.
I thought Andy Samberg wrote it. I thought the Lonely Island wrote it.
They rewrote it completely from scratch.
Did not know that.
But Akiva Schaffer directs, which I think he also directed Popstar.
He hates being on screen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he despises, he's never on screen.
But he's in Popstar.
He is in Popstar,
but he has that beard and everything.
Yes, he doesn't want to be on screen. He wants to be the behind-the-scenes guy. Because he worked on SNL with those guys.
Yeah.
They were all writers, and Samberg was the only guy who was actually on camera.
Right. Okay. So anyway, so they rewrote this for themselves, and it's a joy. It's a great like it's really.
Are we talking about Hot Rod? We're back to Hot Rod.
Hot Rod. Well, they both are great, but we'll do Hot Rod. It's like underrated. I feel here we are 10 years later, and it still doesn't have that.
I think it's a cult. It's got this underground thing.
Okay.
Like my kids found out about it because my dad's X amount of years old. Mm-hmm. He's got a brother who's 20 years younger than he is. So my cousin is close to my age.
Okay.
And he showed my kids Hot Rod one day.
So your dad or your cousin?
My cousin showed my kids Hot Rod one day.
Anyone's dad showing anyone Hot Rod is awesome.
Not a great idea. So my kids came home and said Hot Rod's the greatest movie of all time. So of course I had to watch it. Yes. And I loved Samberg to begin with.
Right, from SNL and all.
And yeah, so it is a staple in my house.
Excellent.
From the time my oldest kid was 8.
Nice.
Which there's so much inappropriate stuff going on in that movie.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's some of it's like that stuff where if they don't get it, they don't get it kind of stuff, and
right.
Is just whatever. But my feeling is, if you want to laugh at it, if it's inappropriate and they get it, you're more than welcome to laugh at it. Yeah.
You're allowed to drop one F-bomb, I think,
in a PG-13.
Yeah, and it's the girl from Sex and the City, the redheaded woman.
Oh, okay. Get the F off my lawn.
Yeah. Yes. And so every time that scene came on, my wife and I would cough.
Yes.
Just try to blur that out.
Yes.
Yeah. So, fantastic movie.
When I showed my kids the Simpsons film, and I did the research beforehand, like when Homer, you ever seen that?
Of course.
Yeah, Homer and Marge, like when they get undressed and like start doing it in the cabin up in Alaska, it goes on for like 1 or 2 seconds too long.
What? Yeah.
It's right at the end of a chapter stop, so I just kind of hit that button. I was like, oh, sorry guys, sorry, never mind.
Something happened.
Yeah. So anyway, and I really wanted my kids to watch it, but they were too busy watching the magic of YouTube last night to break away and watch.
Yeah, YouTube's better than anything in real life.
Than
apparently.
anything anyone put effort into.
Yeah.
But then they came down and saw like 5 minutes, and my younger son sat and watched the rest of it and really liked it a lot.
It is so funny.
It's silly, and it's just silly. It's like my wife would call it stupid. Like she would watch 5 minutes and be like, "This is stupid."
Oh, my wife loves it, which makes I guess maybe that's why we're so great together. I mean, we're not great people. We're just great together.
You showed your kids hot rod, but it's smart stupid. It's just brilliant stupid. It's fun.
And Danny McBride is in it, and that's he's one of my favorites. Like
this was early on in his career.
He's only got one character.
Yes,
he does what he does, and he's Danny McBride.
Right.
You can call him whatever you want. But
Kenny Powers.
Yeah, I mean it's just him. He's a mullet and a goatee.
Right.
But that high five scene, and and that is how it's done,
Right.
and it's just fantastic. Love it.
And Will Arnett's in it. He's great. Again,
that's my wife's crush.
Oh, is that her? Is that her freebie?
I think that's her hall pass. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe it is.
Nice.
I'm not sure. She hasn't given me the list, but I'm pretty sure that would be her guy.
And who would be objecting to that?
I am a huge fan, so I'd be okay with it.
And then and he's got a Lego Batman coming out, which looks amazing.
That's going to be awesome. My kids are so excited.
And then probably one of the greatest casting ever in this silly, ridiculous film is Academy Award winner Sissy Spacek as
the mom.
As the mom.
And then the guy from Deadwood.
Yeah,
as
Ian,
the dad.
Ian, I didn't write that down.
McFarlane, I think.
Something like Ian McShane.
McShane.
Yes. What's he from?
He's from Deadwood.
Which is have you ever watched
that?
It
was
like
one of my favorite shows.
Heavy, serious.
It was a deep. It was basically Deadwood was a town in South Dakota, I think. But it was like mining town,
right?
And so it was lawless.
So it's awesome to see him just be an idiot in this movie,
and he's such a jerk.
And you can tell he's having a blast doing.
Oh
this
yeah,
film.
and he kicks Andy Samberg's butt like all the time.
Right.
And he just demeans him, and he's so mean. It's fantastic.
And then we also have in the cast Isla Fisher, who is...
That's Sacha Baron Cohen's wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they have 2 kids together.
I did not know that. You did some more research than I did.
She is beautiful. I'll just leave it at that.
She's a pretty girl.
Yes.
And she's not American.
No, and her accent kind of fades in and
You
out.
can feel it. Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah. You can definitely hear it.
There's some scenes where she's just got the Australian accent.
It's not working all the time.
But that's okay.
It doesn't matter. The movie's fantastic.
Yes. And it's one of these films that I love where like clearly 20 and 30-year-olds are playing basically teenagers.
Right.
They're not teenagers because they talk about like being out of college and they are drinking and whatever.
Yeah.
But they just like hang out and do they are doing what I imagine people think I am because I have all my high school buddies on the show. But they just all live like in the same house.
Yeah. And they go to the same hot dog stand or whatever it is.
Yes. Then they don't have jobs apparently, and they just and his job is
he's
doing
a stuntman.
Stunts, yes, which is hilarious. Also, like he just does stunts.
But then Bill Hader, he works at the ice rink.
Oh yes.
But my favorite line. It's not my favorite line, but one of the great lines is when he's standing there with the hose because Rod is trying to hold his breath for like a minute and a half, and he's loading it up with a hose, and Bill Hader just says, "Man, pools are great for holding water."
Yeah,
it's just absurd.
Pools are great, and he says it like he just thought of it too.
Yeah,
man, pools are great for holding water.
He's the smartest guy in the world.
And then this movie has the cool beans scene is absolutely amazing.
Cool beans,
yes.
cool beans. Yeah, I mean, just that's definitely some Lonely Island shining through for sure.
There's a couple of things like that, and then when he falls down the hill, another thing like
it goes on forever.
Yeah, 48 seconds actually. I looked that up.
Did you really look it up?
I saw it. Yeah,
it goes on for an eternity.
48 seconds. He falls down a hill. I don't want to give too much away because if you haven't seen this, guys, you
have to watch this movie.
If you listen to this show, you will love this movie.
It's sophomoric, and I don't even know why sophomoric is the right word because it's freshman.
Yes.
It's even less than sophomoric.
But like I said, it's smart and it's not just like plain stupidity. But there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you'll enjoy it. It
reminds me of an Abbott and Costello film in that like every scene is its own little sketch
Correct.
or routine or something like
I totally
that.
agree
Certainly
with you.
not comparing them to our Abbott and Costello, but
No.
That's how it plays.
That's a really good way to put it.
Well, thank you. Hot Rod 2017. Check it out.
2017.
2007.
There you go. Let's revisit.
And then they did Pop Star recently, which was 2016.
Also hilarious.
Yes,
also
fantastic.
Inappropriate for my kids.
Super inappropriate.
But
yes.
definitely they watched it.
Let's just say in Pop Star, instead of falling down a hill for 47 seconds, there's a certain body part on the screen for about 47 seconds.
One of the funniest scenes
Yes.
I've ever seen in cinema.
One thing they do in both those films is they just let the joke just keep going. Like
They
just,
it's relentless.
Yeah, and then it gets just funnier and funnier, and some people don't like that, but I'm definitely on
when
board.
when you won't stop the joke,
Yes.
you make people uncomfortable, but it's
excellent.
worth it.
Yeah, so good. Pop Star I put as like my favorite movie of last year. I think that's great. Fantastic. But that also
Kindred spirits.
shows you what kind of movies I watch.
Yes.
So let's go to another high class film from 1994, Dumb and Dumber, which everyone loves.
Yes.
But that's great. I mean, that's what, when I came up with the idea of doing like favorite movies, like what is your favorite movie? Is your favorite movie something that you're just going to put on and just laugh your head off, or is it something that makes you think or whatever? And Dumb and Dumber doesn't make you think, but
It does not.
but it's a great film. Yeah.
Well, when we talked about doing the show, like coming on and talking about movies, like I could have done, The Godfather and
Right.
Goodfellas and all that stuff, which like I guess are on the tail end of my list.
down there, yeah.
But I want to watch movies to be
Exactly.
be entertained, and those things make me laugh. And Dumb and Dumber was a movie that I had not seen until I met my wife.
Oh wow!
And she showed it to me, and of course, wow, you
that blows my mind.
there's nothing. It's weird that I had never seen it because I wasn't really a Jim Carrey fan because I didn't like that. What was it? Mad TV he was on
In Living Color.
In Living Color,
right,
yeah.
right.
And I just thought he was over the top, and then all of a sudden Jeff Daniels,
Right.
who
is not known for wacky slap.
of course not. I
slapstick.
mean, you've seen that the HBO show that he was
right,
on,
The Newsroom.
Yeah, I mean, like that's not his
not his bag,
wheelhouse.
maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
but man, that they did such a great job. The diarrhea scene, you can't beat that. And
Well, this came out in '94, which was the year of Jim Carrey because he was kind of unknown. He was on that In Living Color.
yeah.
And I knew him from an old movie called Once Bitten that I used to watch on HBO. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, you
I
remember
love
that?
some Once Bitten. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's Jim Carrey, like 10 years earlier.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Lauren Hutton. And
I've only seen that movie like twice, but
yeah,
that was the
it's-
movie where
Lauren Hutton's an older woman. She's a vampire, and
Yes.
then she bites Jim Carrey, and then he starts to turn into a vampire.
Right.
And he gets real pale, and he...
yep. That
Cleavon.
was one of those HBO movies
Yep,
that we recorded
yes,
in the
that's a
old
great
days.
Movie. So I knew who he was like immediately. But so in '94 he comes out with Ace Ventura, and in February. And now, have you seen that?
Oh,
Yeah,
probably
okay.
50 times.
But did you see it after you saw Dumb and Dumber? Did you go back to the Ace Ventura? Or?
I saw Ace Ventura first.
Okay.
And
Didn't
then
do much for you.
no, I mean I loved it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, laces out, Dan. I mean, it was a great movie, but I
Yes.
didn't like for whatever reason, Dumb and Dumber didn't come across
Right.
my
I gotcha.
desk,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
Please sign off on this. So Ace Ventura comes out in February of '94, makes $107 million.
Really?
Yeah. Then you get The Mask came out in July, which had already been filmed, and that made $320 million.
So Dumb and Dumber came out after these?
Yeah, and then Dumb and Dumber came out December 16th of '94, so he had all three in 1 year. Yep.
So
He was
there's
the
a reason
man.
why he doesn't have to work.
He was the man, yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, then you'll find this interesting. He made The Mask before Ace Ventura even came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And he signed on to Dumb and Dumber before Ace Ventura came out, and he was offered $700,000 to be in it. So whatever. But by the time they
Did he get back end?
well, by the time he signed the contract, Ace Ventura had just come out and
Okay.
made all that money. So he actually got $7 million for Dumb and Dumber instead of $700,000.
That makes
which
add
makes
a zero
sense.
to that one. We're
Right.
good.
So it was just an amazing year for Jim Carrey. And who else is in this? Well, you said Jeff Daniels, good old Lauren Holly.
Didn't he marry her?
Jim Carrey did, I think so.
I think they got married
and divorced.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's Hollywood.
Right. Charles Rocket is in this, who
got expelled from SNL.
From SNL.
Yep.
Good old Terry Garr from So Many Wonderful Classics.
Rolling the hay.
And Young Frankenstein.
Yep.
And Harlan Williams. He's the cop in this, right?
He's the one who does the weird snort thing because he drinks.
You been hitting Grandma's cough syrup?
Yes. But no. I'm thinking of a different. Am I thinking of a different movie? Is he 6 Minute Abs?
What? No, I don't know.
No, that's something about Mary, I think.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Same directors.
We can edit this part out.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
But I think he's the one who like took a drink of the urine, I think, that they had in a bottle, and he starts.
Oh, okay, yeah, because yeah.
Was that Dumb and Dumber?
I haven't seen that in a while. I don't know. It sounds familiar.
We'll have to revisit.
The only other thing I'm thinking of is Super Troopers. You seen Super Troopers?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Ace Ventura. It's been a while since I've seen Ace Ventura, but Dumb and Dumber. Your kids have seen this?
Dumb and Dumber?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
My kids are completely ruined. They've seen everything, and I mean, maybe even that Blondes movie that you were talking about.
Well, they might have seen it on their phone up in their room.
They may have. I can't tell you.
Did you? Will they watch like Young Frankenstein, or will they go back further?
They probably wouldn't do that because it's black and white.
Uh-huh.
And it was only black and white because that's
That's how they decided to do it. Yeah.
What was the guy's name?
Mel Brooks.
Yes, Mel Brooks decided that it was going to be black and white, but they would just think it was old timey, and so they wouldn't watch it.
But they would watch.
They may watch Spaceballs.
Oh, really?
Type movies.
Okay.
Because they are Star Wars kids.
Right.
But I don't. I can't guarantee it. I can't promise you anything.
I tried to show my guys Smokey and the Bandit, which is one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
And like 15 minutes in, is all this movie is them talking on their car microphones?
My kids will watch Cannonball Run, which is
you're the first person to bring up my number one favorite movie of all time, Cannonball Run.
Dude.
Yes,
I bought my buddy Pat a Burt Reynolds pillowcase.
Nice.
Because it's our favorite movie.
Oh, okay.
I didn't put it on my list because I thought you already discussed it. I'm sorry. But it's a picture of him from Cannonball Run, and it just says, "Got Burt?" Question mark.
What?
I'll give it to you because he gave it to me. He gave it back to me, as I guess, because he wasn't going to use it.
The greatest movie of all time.
Cannonball Run.
Yes.
No doubt.
Seen it 70 billion times on HBO when I was a kid. And then it's just absolutely plotless.
Of course.
I've seen it 70 billion times.
Whiskey, zebra,
Tango,
Niner, Fiver,
right.
Zero.
The license plates.
Yeah.
There's still parts in it that I don't even understand what they mean.
No.
It just makes no sense. They were all drunk and just having a blast, and it's such a great movie. Cannonball Run's great, guys. Go check it out. Cannonball Run 2? Not so much.
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
It's not as good as first.
I love
love
the doctor from Cannonball Run saying, "In my line of work, I rarely need more than this."
This?
And he's holding up his finger.
Dr. Nicholas Van
He's a
Helsing.
proctologist.
From the Tennessee University of Faith Healing.
You're going deep, dude.
Do you know there's a Cannonball Run 3?
No.
Is your mind blown?
Yeah.
It is called Speed Run or Speed Zone in this country. In other countries, it was released as Cannonball Run 3. It is very good.
Are you serious? It's very good?
It's good. Sorry, it's good. The only person that runs through like the 1 and 2 have a ton of people similar that are in both. The only one that is in all 3 is Jamie Farr as the Sheik. So that tells you where we're at.
The guy needed work.
But it's got the Smothers Brothers in it and
in 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Tom Schneider or John Schneider, Luke Duke?
Luke.
Yeah, Luke.
He was Bo Duke.
Yes, you're right. But yes, but Bo's in it, and
did not know that.
Brooke Shields has a really good part in it. Anyway, yes.
I had breakfast next to Brooke Shields once.
What? Tell us that story. What?
Oh, we were in Maui. Like my parents took us to Maui one year, and this is true story.
True story.
And this is double time. Like we were there for I think we were there for 2 weeks, but we were at one resort for 1 week.
It sounds rough, though. I'm sorry to hear about you.
Oh, it was horrible. It was the worst trip of my life. But yeah, one day I'm sitting there having breakfast, and I look next to me, and there's Brooke Shields, and that's mind blowing. Anyway, yes. I didn't say anything to her.
No.
A couple days later, I'm walking from breakfast, and Anthony Michael Hall is walking towards me.
Rusty.
And we discussed my love for Breakfast Club.
Nice.
And I just looked at him, and I was like, I love everything you've done. And he said, thanks, man. And he just walked past me. And that was it. I don't want to like mess with celebrities. They're not there to
exactly.
to
but
be
it's
bothered.
Rusty for crying out loud.
It was exactly.
Rusty.
Good talk, Russ.
Oh, that's amazing. Excellent. I would have if I had seen.
You would probably lose your mind.
Yeah.
You have to reserve yourself a little bit.
Well, yeah,
though.
I've met celebrities before, and what I mean, but never like one that's like on my list. Like, oh my god, it's Steve Guttenberg or Rusty or whatever.
I love that you have a love for the Goot.
The Goot's the man. If I had run into Brooke Shields, I would have mentioned Speed Zone, and she probably doesn't even remember doing it. She's only in it for like 1 minute.
I only wanted to mention Blue Lagoon, and
Nice.
that would have been creepy.
Much like Blue Lagoon is.
It's kind of creepy.
Good times. So Dumb and Dumber, whatever. I was just going to say, of those 3 Jim Carrey movies, they all had crappy, half-assed sequels.
Yeah.
Well, they had real sequels and the fake sequel.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's 3 Dumb and Dumbers,
right?
And 2 of them are associated,
right? And then the middle one is with not them. Dumb and Dumberer, When Harry Met Lloyd.
Yeah,
from 2003. And then then there's Son of Mask. Son of the Mask.
Oh, that's disgusting. One of my favorite things is that the chipped tooth in Dumb and Dumber was real.
Yeah,
and that he took his cap off.
Yeah,
just because he thought it would be that much funnier, and he's right.
And did you see Dumb and Dumber 2, the newer one?
I did not.
I didn't look. I didn't.
Whatever.
No. And then there's also, not only is there Ace Ventura 2 with Jim Carrey, there's a third Ace Ventura Jr. with a little kid playing him.
I'm not interested.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
like his son. And then all of those also had cartoon shows on Saturday morning cartoons. So
wow,
that's that.
Did not know that.
Go find the 13 episodes of Dumb and Dumber cartoon.
I will not be doing that.
How about this is Spinal Tap, another comedy classic from 1984, which I have not seen in way too long. So all I remember is the volume goes up to 11.
Of course, yeah, that's the number one thing.
Being a huge comedy fan and then being in a band, I would assume this is
it really hits close to home.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about it is there was no script.
Right.
And so it was completely improv. And what I've heard is that there's like 4.5 hours of footage that's not in the movie, because the movie's maybe okay, so something like hour and a half, and it's completely improv.
Nice.
But you can see, I think Fran Drescher's in there, Dana Carvey's in there, like all these people are just they just said go,
right?
Like here's where the scene's going to start, here's where the scene's going to end, figure it out,
right.
And like these go to 11 was just.
Right.
That's all you got. And
then they make magic.
And as a guy who plays music, you know the crap that can go wrong when you're trying to play a show, and everything seems to go wrong for these guys, and it's just beautiful.
Because what they do, and have you ever seen? Well, let's say this was directed by Rob Reiner, of
course,
who's in it, right? He plays the
director,
in it, right?
Yep.
But then the band is Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, and then a couple others. Guys who aren't nameworthy anymore, I guess. That's like sort of the crew that moved on to do like Best in Show and all those other. And those movies have no script as well. Right. But all I can speak of is for Waiting for Guffman, which is about community theater.
Fantastic.
And not only is the movie hilarious and funny and brilliant, but they totally nailed community theater. Like I've been a part of that.
How do they know that?
So that's
stuff so well
for rock and roll. Like they just nail it, and how did they exactly? And I've never been to a dog show, but Best in Show seems probably
perfect,
dead on, and that's a fantastic movie. Yeah. So then you have all these, Bruno Kirby, Ed Begley Jr., who's in he's in Best in Show, hilarious.
And who's the guy who was? He was the receptionist at the hotel. In Spinal Tap.
Oh, see, I couldn't tell you. Fred Willard. I got Fred Willard was in here. Paul Schaefer, Howard Hessman from Head of the Class.
Yes. Howard Hessman was one of those, like he was like an agent or something, but for the other band.
Okay.
That was doing really well. Spinal Tap was not doing well at the time, and they were staying in the same hotel.
And Billy Crystal.
Yep.
So I need to rewatch this.
It's a great movie. It sort of outlines the reality of a band on their decline.
Okay, yeah.
But just knowing that it's all completely improv is what really had an impact on me.
Which I'm sure in '84 was even more crazy.
It was unheard of.
Yeah,
it was the first one.
Yeah, and really, even today, only they're doing it still. Nobody else is.
That's true. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
there's
true.
a couple TV shows that do that, but
Yep.
crazy. I would be interested in talking about Caddyshack with you because that's in my.
Is that? I feel like someone must have done Caddyshack with you.
Our friend Matt, also from high school, but does not live near us,
got
brought
a
that
motorcycle,
up.
though.
We touched on it. Yes, he does. We touched on it, but Caddyshack is just the bee's knees, if I may say so.
Again, yeah. I mean, just untouchable from top to bottom.
Unrelentingly funny.
I love. Well, here, like that was one of those movies that I got to watch. Like, you know, when you were a kid and you would go to a party,
right?
And the parents would be in one room and the kids would be in another. Well, the parents apparently owned Caddyshack on VHS, and so we put it in the player. So that's the first time I ever saw a naked girl.
There you go.
So that was fantastic.
That was something. That was nice.
And so
nice.
So that's 1980. So
Yeah.
I was, you know, it was
7,
probably
8,
82.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Lacy Underalls. And and
Johnny.
in the meantime, like I've done so much like research on that movie.
Excellent.
Like
Wow.
the scene with Bill Murray and Chevy Chase
right?
wasn't in the script.
Right.
They needed them to do something because they were both such huge stars, but there was nothing for them to do together in the script.
And
so
Bill Murray was only supposed to have a small part, I think, originally.
Yeah, I think so.
He just kind of stole the show, so they
of course,
went with it.
and they had to.
But
And
that's what's great. Like, this movie is easily one of the top comedy classics, and it was like organically came together. Like, it was growing as they made it.
Exactly.
Through
And so who did that? Who was it?
Harold Ramis directed it.
Yeah.
And Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's
brother,
directed or wrote it. I think at least helped write it. I don't know if he single-handedly
and he
wrote
played
it.
the Caddyshack. He was the guy who ran the Caddyshack.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's also Noah in Wayne's World. He owns the arcade in Wayne's World.
That's correct. He always has bit roles.
And he's he's the boss in Christmas Vacation.
Correct.
I can't remember any. Give me somebody on the phone.
So the scene was that they made them like just improv a scene together,
right.
and that's when I think Chevy Chase hit a golf ball into Bill Murray's. I don't know
Carl's shack.
Yeah, and so they just had to talk it out. And Cannonball, like he was smoking weed and drinking some sort of whiskey.
Which apparently they all were constantly.
I'm sure.
During the movie,
those guys.
And then Chevy and the girl, what was her name? You just said her name.
Lacey Underalls.
Right. They didn't get along at all, and then they have like that very intimate.
Did not
scene
know that.
where they're naked together, and I read that.
Really?
Too. Yeah. Really? Yes.
Did not know that.
When this movie came out, like you said, we were 8 or something like that, and then it's like, here's an R-rated movie with a puppet main character. That's all I needed. Like, I wanted to see this movie so bad, and finally saw it on television, where it was all cut up a little bit.
There's no way it's good on television.
Yeah, no, and back then when you would watch a movie like on the lower channels, they would just cut. They wouldn't edit
right.
So like that scene where Danny's in bed with Lacey, it's just chopped up real quick, so it doesn't. It's like you're watching, flickers of it, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't just cut the whole scene out. But, and then how many times a day do you quote Caddyshack?
Oh, geez. I mean, between me and my friends, it's constant. Like, because with the band, we have 4 or 5 hours of downtime. Mm-hmm. We get there at 3.
Oh, okay.
We don't play until 8.
Right.
So we do our sound check and all that stuff, and we just sit around, and it's nonstop.
Nice.
It's Simpsons references. It's Caddyshack references. It's Cannonball Run references. I mean, that's what we do. You should join the band.
Yes, I will. I'll just be the reference.
Yes, you could be that guy.
I'll just reference movies. Oh my gosh, so much. We used to play in college a game called You Can Say That in Cannonball Run when he's like, I'm blanking out on my quotes, but Dean Martin calls, I don't know, somebody
Small.
SM all. Small. Yeah. It's later when they're parked at the fight, I think. And he says, oh, yeah, well, you can take those rosary bleeds and stuff them up his nose.
These bleeds?
These bleeds of this nose?
Of this nose?
And then somebody calls Sammy Davis Jr. the Chocolate Monk.
The Chocolate Monk? That was actually one of our other band names. I swear to God, we were actually going to call ourselves the Chocolate Monks.
Oh, that's it.
It's a true
That's all
story.
we need.
And
Good
we thought that might not
Might
go
not,
over
right.
well.
Oh, we're gonna pass on booking the Chocolate Monks.
Chocolate Monks.
The Chocolate.
The Chocolate Monk.
And then he goes. He could say that. He
could
can
say
say
that.
that because he's riding around with the Goodyear blimp.
He's calling you a blimp.
So we would play this game that we came up with called You Can Say That, where we would just insult each other, and if you were playing, it was no holds barred.
Okay, so it's sort of an improv game.
Yeah,
I like it.
But it was no holds barred, and then people would be like, I want to play, and it was mostly like the 3 or 4 of us, and people would watch us play, and we knew where we could go and whatever. And then people would come in and we're like, you don't want to do this.
No.
And they'll be like, Ed, you're fat, and you eat a lot. And I'll be like, yeah, well, what about your dead brother who was stabbed to death? Like, whatever it was. And they're like, oh, I'm out.
Yes,
Goodbye.
yes, tapping out.
There was a lot of crying. There was a lot of, so... this is the best episode where everything just circles back to Cannonball Run. It's
I'm here for you, man. We can do this for 6 hours.
Cannonball and Caddyshack are both 1980, I'm pretty sure. So what a magical year to be alive right there.
We were only 7. Luckily, we still have it with us.
Yes, good times. Caddyshack. Check it out, folks. If you haven't seen it, I don't know.
If you haven't, you are just born.
Yes, and you need to wait till your parents let you watch it. Caddyshack 2, did you ever see that?
Of course not.
No?
No, I did.
It's not horrible, but it's nowhere.
But going back to Caddyshack, you heard the story that Dangerfield was concerned?
Oh, yeah.
That no one would laugh at his jokes?
Because he was used to performing on stage.
Yeah, and so nobody laughs.
Right.
And so like he was like, I'm bombing
out here.
Yeah, and they said, you're not supposed to laugh on set. We're supposed to be quiet.
Right.
So yeah, that was a revisit. Sorry.
No, it's all good. And then
but no, Caddyshack 2 was it was treacherous.
Where they get Jackie Mason to play Rodney Dangerfield's character.
Yeah. No, not good.
And it's about miniature golf, not actual golf.
Exactly.
And then Rodney Dangerfield says, hey, it's a nice hat when you get a free bowl of soup with it.
I've said that a few times in my life.
Excellent. Let's we'll come down the home stretch here. Dazed and Confused, which is another fantastic comedy classic that I also have not seen in too long that I need to rewatch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Matthew McConaughey.
That was his breakthrough.
Yeah. Crazy. And that's where the hey, is that what he's known for? Right?
All right.
Hey, Fat Albert. But
that is Fat Albert, yes.
He was not in this. Joey Lauren Adams, Mila Jovovich.
All cute ladies.
Yes, all kinds of. Parker Posey, again.
Yep.
Ben Affleck, he's adorable.
And Parker Posey is also in all those...
and all the Christopher Guest films.
Yeah,
yes.
all the improv films, yeah.
Yes. And what do you want to say about Dazed and Confused? Anything else?
That just sort of hit me at the right time. Like, I was...
Out of high school.
It was in college, right? What am I looking at?
93.
93. So in college, I was playing music. I was not entirely sober. So a movie about smoking weed all the time kind of went
in the right direction.
In the right direction.
Hit you in a soft spot.
Yeah. And, I mean, that was McConaughey's first movie. I just heard this story the other day. He was trying to get into film. He was trying to be more of a director or like an AP or something like that.
Huh.
And so he was living in Austin, and somebody he was hanging out with said that guy at the end of the bar is here to film a movie.
Nice.
And so he, being, I guess, a forward thinker,
right,
walked down and started having a conversation with him. And by the end of the night, he said, you should come down and do an audition with our guy tomorrow. So he came down and he met with Linklater.
Nice.
And got the role. And that was it.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But, I mean, just a great, like, I love those sort of coming-of-age movies.
Right.
Like, the whole movie is shot in, it's one day.
Right. Last day of
school.
school.
So it's just one of those really cool things, like, this is, like, a capsule of one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. You know? So I've always loved that movie for that reason. It's just, like, there's not a lot of, like, in your brain you can think of a great day, but they threw it into 90 minutes, and it was all these people's best day.
Dazed and Confused, folks, check it out. It was on Netflix. I think it's gone though. So why did I bring it up? And we'll close out with The Jerk, which we have discussed on here, but it fits so well into this
My sophomoric humor.
Ours.
Yeah.
Which we did a whole episode about The Jerk, episode 16, an intelligent discussion about The Jerk. It's not intelligent, so check it out. But again, this is like what was like Hot Rod, although this is older, but like it has a cult following. But where's the Hallmark Christmas ornament? Where's the pizza on a cup Christmas ornament or something?
So just one of the greatest movies. Again, this is one of those movies that I saw when my parents were at a party and we had a VHS tape.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we watched it. And so I was a kid. And, as a guy who plays music, I bought a ukulele.
Nice.
Because he plays the ukulele.
Right.
And Tonight You Belong to Me, if you remember that song. Mm-hmm. That's the first song I learned to play on ukulele because of that movie.
Wow.
Everything from He Hates the Cans...
Right.
To I found my purpose. That whole thing, like everything about that movie is.
That was a few episodes back that we talked about it, folks. So you should have seen it by now. Go watch it. But
yeah,
good stuff.
We're not going to ruin anything for you.
And and for you and I mean, 79. We were again like 8, 9, and just like to have an adult movie be directed at us, also like just silly fun.
Yeah.
So great.
And again, I guess maybe I'm really sort of tied into the SNL thing because he was a huge star on SNL.
Right. He wasn't a cast member though, Did you know that?
Was he always
he was
a
always
special guest?
I thought he was a cast member too
featured?
For the longest time. He was on it a lot, yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but he was featured in King Tut. Everybody thinks of King Tut from Saturday Night Live. Of
course.
Yeah.
And Wild and Crazy Guys, that was him.
It was him and Aykroyd, yeah. And they did it a lot, but
he was never an actual...
Never a cast member.
Did not know that.
Did not know that. I think he's second place of hosted the most times after Alec Baldwin. Maybe. I think it's him and John Goodman and Alec Baldwin have all hosted up in the neighborhood of like 16 times.
Yeah, they're up there
like
now.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And then I was going to cut it off there, but I have The Usual Suspects is also on your list, and that's not a funny movie.
It's not funny. What I love is the fact that the entire movie is probably a lie.
Right.
That's kind of my thing. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, then
Spoiler.
stop listening.
Don't stop.
But that's my favorite thing about it. Like, you can watch the whole movie, and it's so interesting. Like, you're just tied into every detail. But then, at the end... like maybe none of this ever actually happened.
Does that affect rewatching it for you?
No, because I like watching at the end scene where they zoom in on the names and the details that he was giving throughout the movie.
Right.
Like you like to sort of revisit, like
I gotcha.
So he's just reading that off the bulletin board, or he's off the bottom of that coffee cup.
So when you rewatch it, you're like fact checking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I love that kind of, I mean, that's like that kind of movie, and Sixth Sense is not on my list, but I love a movie where at the end you're like, holy crap.
Right.
I'm not sure
they
that
took you
any
on
of
one.
this
They
actually...
took you on one journey, and then the last couple minutes.
Memento.
Yeah. Did you see The Sting? Ever seen The Sting?
I have seen The Sting.
That'll do it to you.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I love that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So that's.
And that is a completely different ride than all these other movies where they're just kind of silly and it's like, here's what it is, and just sit back and enjoy it and watch it or whatever.
And most of the movies that I was talking about were, I guess, because I watch them with my family or my wife or whatever, and so that ties me emotionally more to those movies.
Exactly.
But then
it's not called What's a Good Movie. It's What's Your Favorite Movie.
Exactly. Right? And there's a reason why it's your favorite
I can't
movie.
host a show called What's a Good Movie.
What's a good movie?
Zebra in the Kitchen would not be an episode.
I've never even heard of that movie.
1965. My favorite thing about The Usual Suspects is that, and I think I mentioned this before, I think Sam had this in his episode, which I believe was episode 12. Folks, go back and listen to the old episodes if you haven't listened to them. Yes.
All of them are good.
So I thank you. At Moe's Southwestern Grill, you can get the Who is Kaiser salsa, which is a great movie.
No, really?
Yes. You never been to Moe's?
No.
Everything at Moe's Southwestern Grill, unpaid ad for Moe's Southwestern Grill, everything on the menu is a movie reference.
Really?
Yes, there's Fletch.
Is it a franchise?
Yeah, they're all over.
Fletch was also on my list, by the way.
Excellent movie, yes.
Go ahead.
But they have the John Cocktoast and burrito.
No.
Yes, and one of the other salsas is the El Guapo salsa.
Do they have a steak sandwich?
I don't...
And steak sandwich?
from...
That's also from Fletch. I'll have a steak sandwich and the steak sandwich.
And charge it to the Underhills.
Exactly.
You want to hear something amazing that I read? In Fletch Lives, which is also good. Not quite as good as...
Not quite, but still very good.
But very good. In the scene where it's like a fantasy scene, and he's in front of the mansion, and they're singing and dancing, and it's kind of like a Song of the South parody.
Right.
The Underhills are in that scene. They got
Really?
Yeah, the Underhills are just there, like in the scene, dancing. I hope you guys know what we're talking about here because we're just riffing pretty heavy, but you should. But yeah, that's awesome that they had that.
Oh, that's great.
Foresight to do that. Awesome movies. This is gonna wrap it up for us, I think, on this installment of What's Your Favorite Movies. I hope you had an enjoyable time discussing such fine cinema classics.
I had a blast.
Awesome. Guys, do yourself a favor and subscribe to our show. Subscribing actually helps drive more traffic to our little show here, and that's all we're asking you for. And you can find out about Jason's band at therealgeniuses.com, which is their website.
Correct. Whatever. You can like us or not. We're a cheesy cover band.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, and so you guys do a lot of private events. So you don't like go on tour or anything. Like you're mostly private events, and your schedule might not look fully booked because like I don't have a whole bunch of shows to plug because you guys do so many private parties.
Yeah, most of our shows are exclusive. Well, not exclusive. That sounds stupid. There'll be like corporate events or weddings or private parties or things like that. So we don't do a lot of public shows.
Right.
We do some fundraisers that you can go to.
But you guys have a show coming up in February that everybody can come to. Well, we're in February here because today's February 1st. And this show's open to the public, right, at Nottingham's. It's the, right? It's open to the public. It's
that's a fundraiser.
Adopt a Homeless Animal Rescue, the We Heart Animals Winter Fundraiser. It's at Nottingham's in Columbia, Maryland. So if you're in the Baltimore area, you should come check them out. It's Saturday, February 18th, 7 to 10. And they're going to be giving 20% of the food and beverage purchases to the shelter. And you can order tickets online or at the door. Find out more about that. Also, another website for you at aaha-rescue.org. I hope they don't mind us plugging them. And we'll put some links on Facebook and Twitter so people can come out and see you and see you guys. I've been trying to get out to your guys' show for years, and there's always some lame excuse why I don't come.
You're a busy man.
I'm a busy man.
I understand.
But I got a podcast to run.
It's so much stuff going on.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
I didn't realize how complicated it was.
It's amazing. And then this summer, you guys are going to be like at Bordy Vineyards out in Maryland, which is...
I think we're doing that twice.
Yeah, I was on your schedule twice, so that'll be nice. That's a popular...
That show's insane.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
People are... Like wine drunk
is
a whole different version of drunk.
Right.
But people just have a really, really good time.
It's a classy drunk.
Yeah. You can hold your pinky out while you dance.
Awesome. Jason, thanks so much for coming up here and doing this.
It was a blast, dude.
Yes, awesome.
I really appreciate it.
And guys, tell a friend about WYFM. That's What's Your Favorite Movie. Or share a link on your social media. And you can follow us at WYF Movie Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Ed South if you feel like that is a thing you need to do. And you can also reach us at the world's most underused email address, favemoviepodcast@yahoo.com. Jason, thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, guys, until next time, it's khaki wishes and cookie dreams. See ya.